Okay, so we tend to think of capitalism, trade, and economic markets as uniquely human inventions, right? Like, we genuinely believe we are the only species on this planet smart enough to calculate supply and demand or handle complex resource distribution. Well, in this explainer, we are going to completely shatter that assumption. Welcome to the microscopic Wall Street, literally right under your feet. We're about to explore a massive, unyielding capitalist market that operates with strict rules, intense negotiations, and honestly, some pretty ruthless corporate warfare. When we picture a market, we almost always picture this bustling, high-chaos stock market trading floor. Numbers flashing wildly, brokers shouting over each other, the whole shebang. But 40 feet beneath the dark, quiet forest floor, and actually even right inside the soil of your potted houseplants, lies a completely secret underground economy. And get this microscopic financial system has been operating flawlessly for over 400 million years. Down there, plants and alien fungal networks lock themselves into an incredibly intricate economic system where they negotiate trade deals, exploit market scarcity, and absolutely punish bad business partners. Section 1. Revenue and Commodities, the currency of life. So let's dive into this. In any functional economy, you need goods to trade. Plants produce an absolute surplus of carbon-based sugars thanks to brilliant sunlight and their leafy solar panels, but they have a huge problem. They are desperate for raw materials like phosphorus and nitrogen, which are locked tight in the dirt, completely out of their reach. Enter the market's brokers, mycorrhizal fungi. These are microscopic white fungal threads, known as mycelium, that fan out into infinite pathways through the soil matrix. Because these fungal threads are a mere fraction of the thickness of a plant root, they can easily navigate microscopic crevices in the soil that those thick, clunky plant roots could never possibly touch. They essentially act as expert miners, extracting the crucial phosphorus and nitrogen from the earth and hauling it right back to the plant's roots. Now, you might be wondering how this transaction actually settles. Well, the fungi do not do this hard labor as a charity. They absolutely don't just give these valuable minerals away for free. In exchange for the hauled phosphorus and nitrogen, the mycorrhizal fungi demand payment. And their preferred currency? Pure liquid sugar. The plant provides the carbon-based sugar, and the fungus provides the minerals. This right here is without a doubt the oldest and most successful trade agreement on Earth.
Moving on to Section 2, Market Supply and Demand. Managing the market.
You see, this ecosystem is far from just some static fixed-rate exchange. These organisms actively manipulate prices based on scarcity. It's a highly active, real-time negotiation going on without a single word ever being spoken. To really grasp the scale of this market manipulation, just think about this number for a second. 200%. When a specific section of soil runs low on phosphorus, the fungal network realizes it suddenly holds a monopoly on a highly scarce resource. In response, it drastically increases the price. The fungi will literally demand up to double the amount of liquid sugar, a massive 200% premium, from the plant before it hands over even a single molecule of that rare mineral. So if a plant happens to be growing in phosphorus-poor, depleted, sandy soil, the fungi aggressively capitalize on that scarcity. The sugar demand absolutely skyrockets. The fungus actually hoards the mineral, refusing to give it up until the desperate plant pays the higher premium of sugar. They are basically holding the vital nutrients hostage until the market price meets their exact demands. But hey, plants are not just passive victims of these fungal monopolies. Not at all. They are ruthless corporate entities themselves that engage in aggressive counter-negotiations. If a plant manages to find its own source of water or minerals in a different patch of soil, it will immediately leverage that discovery. It deliberately cuts funding to the greedy fungal network, starving it of carbon until the fungus is forced to lower its exorbitant rates. They squeeze the market right back. And this brilliantly illustrates that we aren't just using colorful financial metaphors for the sake of it. This is hard, verified evolutionary science. Researchers at Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam have proven these exact mycorrhizal market dynamics. Their studies clearly demonstrate that both plants and fungi can actively detect variance in resource delivery and dynamically adjust their exchange rates in real time. It is literally a highly sophisticated, calculated biological stock market. Which brings us to Section 3, Embargo and Economic Warfare, Punishing Cheaters. Of course, as we know, where there is vast wealth to be made, there are bad actors. Some parasitic fungal strains try to completely cheat the system. They plug into the plant's roots and eagerly draw out the liquid sugar currency, but then They refuse to pay up. Instead of delivering the goods, these fraudulent fungus hoard the valuable phosphorus, all for themselves. Evolutionary behavior shows they lock the minerals away inside their own cellular vaults, specifically in these structures called polyphosphate granules. They essentially wait for carbon prices to drop before they release anything, all while continuing to blatantly steal the plant's hard-earned liquid sugar. But trust me, the plants do not tolerate corporate theft. Verified studies show plants use a ruthless, step-by-step mechanism to wage outright economic warfare. Step 1. The plant detects the specific cheating fungal strand that is taking sugar but failing to deliver phosphorus. Step 2. The plant implements an immediate, highly targeted economic embargo. It actively constricts its own cell walls, completely cutting off the internal flow of carbon to that specific root section. And step 3, it strategically redirects its sugar currency far away from the thief. The result of this biological warfare is incredibly stark. The soil is a strict, completely unforgiving meritocracy. The plant actively starves the fraudulent parasitic fungi completely out of existence. Meanwhile, it takes all of that redirected wealth and invests it heavily into honest, high-yielding fungal partners nearby. The rule is simple. If you do good business in the soil, you get rich. If you cheat the system, you are starved to death. And finally, Section 4, the macro level, everyday ecosystems. Now, we've been zoomed way in on microscopic root channels and cellular vaults, but this unyielding financial ecosystem isn't just happening in some distant ancient forest. It is keeping the green world alive everywhere, even literally beneath the floorboards of your own home. If you have a lush, diverse collection of houseplants sitting on a shelf right now, there are 1 trillion microscopic trades happening in that dirt every single minute. That continuous, high-stakes negotiation of supply, demand, and embargoes is exactly what is keeping the balance of life perfectly stable right there in your own living room.
But as we've learned today, where there is vast wealth, there are always thieves looking for a shortcut. Now, the fungal cheaters we just discussed still play by the basic rules of connection before they try to hoard. But what about the organisms that refuse to trade entirely? What happens when strange predatory rusts or parasitic vines decide to just bypass the market altogether, break through the armor, hack the network, and hijack a plant's entire energy grid by force? Well, I'll leave you to think about that, because the biological pirates of the plant kingdom are a whole different level of warfare. Keep questioning what you see, and we'll explore that next time.